Hi.
Thank you so much for talking to us this afternoon.
Of course.
We have some sixth grade students here who are in the process of writing their own children's books, so they have some questions for you.
Okay, great.
Okay, here's our first question.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Did you ever think about being an author as a kid?
Yes, I did. And you know, the reason why I thought about it so much is because I was bad at everything else. So I'm bad at gymnastics, and I was bad at sports, and I was bad at a lot of other things. I won't say bad. I just didn't excel at them. But I always had a very big imagination, and I always loved reading. And so I figured if I could write, that would be really cool. So yes, I kind of knew when I was your age that I wanted to be a writer.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering what was your dream job when you were a kid?
So when I was a kid, I wanted to write movies. And I wanted to write TV shows, and I thought I wanted to write books, but I knew I really wanted to write movies and TV shows. And then when I got a little bit older, I thought I wanted to be a poet. And then because I loved poetry, and I took a poetry class in high school that I really, really connected with. And then I realized that you can't really be a poet anymore so much. And then eventually, as a job, my first career was as an advertising copywriter, and I wrote commercials for like 10 years. And then while I was writing commercials, I decided that I wanted to write a book. And so that's when I wrote a book. So it's been kind of a long journey. I knew I always wanted to be a writer, but I didn't necessarily know what kind of writer. But yeah, that's my answer. Is that a good answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Hello.
Hi.
Why did you get inspired to write?
I get inspired to write by kids like you, and talking to kids like you guys, and getting to know what you like and dislike. And I just really love the age that you are. I don't know if you guys like it, but I have really great memories of being in middle school. And just it's kind of the perfect age where you're kind of getting to know a lot more about the world and how it works. And you're learning that there's a lot of really cool people out there, and there's a lot of cool people in history, and there's a lot of cool people in the future, and they're doing really neat things for all of us. And so I feel like that's really what inspires me, is getting to talk to kids like you guys. And food. I like food. Muffins inspire me. Yeah. What else?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
So what got you into writing books?
So books specifically, so I was working in advertising, and I had written a bunch of commercials. And when you write commercials, you travel a lot to make them. So I would go to Los Angeles a lot, and I have been out of the country a few times, and I was traveling a ton, which is fun, but it's also kind of, you spend a lot of time on planes and a lot of times in meetings. And in those planes and in those meetings, I started writing The Meaning of Maggie. And I just always been thinking in my head that I wanted to write a book, and this book specifically. And so I just kind of started to write it. And I was kind of just writing it without even realizing I was writing it. I was kind of just putting some thoughts down on a paper, and then realized a couple months later that it would maybe make a really awesome book. And so that's how I started writing The Meaning of Maggie.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. Wait, there's two of you.
Yeah.
Are you connected? Are you Siamese twins, or are you two separate people?
We're separate people.
All right, cool. What's up?
Hi. Our question is,
How long have you been writing books?
So I started writing my book, my first book, The Meaning of Maggie, when I was probably 28 years old. I'm now 34, which I'm realizing sounds really old to you guys. And so I've only been writing books for really about 6 years, but I'm just now started writing my second book. I started writing it probably a year ago, and it takes a really long time. So hopefully if you guys decide to write books, do it before you're 20.
Can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry, we lost sound on that last answer.
Oh, okay. I was saying that I started writing books when I was 28. Did you hear that part?
Yeah.
Okay, and now I'm 34, which is old.
Yeah.
Okay. What other questions do you have? Is that it?
For us.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hi.
Hi. What inspires you with What inspires you with ideas for new books?
So a lot of things. So reading really inspires me. I read a lot. I read a lot of books for kids your age because I like them the most, and they really, I feel like, connect with me the most. And I also, I don't know. I feel like I try to put myself out in the world as much as I can. So I try to travel as much as I can. I try to put myself with interesting people as much as I can. I try to put myself with
Hold on. Hello, can you hear us? Uh-oh. Can you hear us?
I think she lost
Keep on. Hello? Oh, there she is.
I
Hello?
lost you.
Oh.
Hi, can you see me?
Hold on, let's turn our video back on. Oh, no.
Yes, we can.
You can
Okay,
see.
hi.
Can you see us?
Yes, you guys, the internet's crazy. It comes and goes.
Get rid of this one, Miss Marcotte.
I would just
Leave it.
this then.
Okay, sorry about that. You can hear us, right?
Yes, I can totally hear you.
Okay, do you want to repeat your question?
What inspires you with ideas for new books?
So I was trying to say before we got frozen, that I try to travel a lot. And I try to meet a lot of different kinds of people and a lot of different kinds of kids. And I try to meet people who have perspectives that are different from mine. So then when I sit down to write characters and I get to know them, they're not just people I know, and they're not just people who are different versions of me. They are people who are wholly themselves. And they are characters who represent things that are different than I am. So I would say traveling is very inspiring for me. Talking to students like you guys also inspires me. And then also reading and reading as much as I can. And also I think even like watching movies and listening to music is always good because you're watching and listening to something that someone put a lot of effort into making. And so that always seems cool to me. So yeah, that's my answer. Is that a good answer? What inspires you?
My family.
Yeah, my family inspires me too. See, that's a good answer too. And especially for my first book, The Meaning of Maggie, my family was a really big inspiration. Well, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Hi.
Hi.
So out of all your characters, which one would you say is the most similar to you?
So The Meaning of Maggie is based on my life growing up. Maggie is based on me. So she's most like me, but I always like to say that she is a better version of me. She's more curious than I am. She's more intelligent than I am, or was at that age for sure. She asks a lot more questions than I did. And so I think when you're writing characters that are a lot like you try to make them a little bit better than you are because you want to see them succeed in ways that you couldn't. And so, yeah, I'd say she's most like me.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
I've been wanting to wonder, out of all the messages in all your stories, which one is your favorite and inspires you the most?
So, especially when I was writing Maggie, the thing that I wanted to get through the most important thing to me about that story, and with a lot of the stories that I write and things that I like to write about, is that when you're handed a challenge, it's really up to you how you take it on. So when a test is hard, or school is difficult, or you're having a fight with a friend or something, it's really up to you how you handle it. And with Maggie, she learns a great deal about resilience. And so what is resilience? Resilience is something that when you get handed a challenge, you kind of pull up your bootstraps. You kind of find something within yourself to overcome it. And so that's something that's really important for me when I'm writing for kids your age, is that I want you guys to know that no matter what comes at you, you can handle it. You're well equipped for it. And that if you work hard enough and if you find a support network, you can pretty much get through anything. So I would say resilience is a big message for me. Yeah, you're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
How long does it take to write a book?
For me, it takes a really long time. I feel like for some people, they just sit down and they write and it's done. For me, I sit down and I write, and then I go off and think, and then I come back and write some more, and then I'll go off and think, and then I'll come back and start over again, or I'll revise things. So when I wrote The Meaning of Maggie, probably to write the whole book the first time probably took me almost 2 years. And then with my second book that I'm writing now, it's taking a little bit longer because now I have a 19-month-old baby and she needs a lot of attention. So it's taking a little bit longer. But yeah, that's my answer. A long time. I wish it was shorter.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, so my question is, what was the hardest part about writing and getting your first book published?
The hardest part about writing, well, there's two hard things. One is that it can be kind of lonely. It's a lot of spending time by yourself and figuring things out inside your head, which can be a kind of lonely place. And two, figuring out how things are going to end. The beginning and middle, I always had figured out. But when it came to writing the end, it was really challenging. I think I was kind of worried about saying goodbye to the characters who I had come to love. And also, I was kind of wondering if, wow, I've brought readers on this journey. I hope I can end it for them in a way that they like it. Because how many times do you watch a movie or read a book or a TV show and you're disappointed in how it ends? I feel like that happens a lot. So that made me really nervous. And then the hardest part about getting it published, I think, is waiting. I had sent it off to a few different publishers, and I didn't hear anything for maybe like a month or two. And so I just didn't know what was happening, if they even saw it, if they even opened the package that was on their desk. So I'd say the waiting was the hardest part.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so that was all of our pre-planned questions for you.
Okay, great.
Do you have any questions for these sixth graders?
Yes, I want to know what you guys are reading.
Okay,
Anything else?
anyone want to raise their hand if you want to share with her what book you are reading right now?
Hi.
Hi.
I am reading Big Nate by
Oh, Big Nate. So you're funny, because those books are funny. Yeah. What I think is great about Big Nate is that the author is so in tune with a sense of humor, and he gets it, how you kids talk to each other and what it's like to be your age. So good. I like those books. What else are you reading? Anything else? Any other favorites? What are you guys reading? Yes.
I am reading a Star Wars book.
Whoa, that's awesome. Wait, what happens in the Star Wars books?
It's based on the movies.
That's awesome. And you've seen all the movies?
Yeah.
Have you seen the ones that are even really old?
Yeah.
What's your favorite one?
The Phantom Menace.
What about Empire Strikes Back?
No.
It has Ewoks in it.
Oh, yeah, those are my favorite characters.
All right, good.
They resemble me, except
You resemble an Ewok? I think I do too.
I'm short.
That's awesome. All right, well, good. I'm glad you're liking those books. Who else?
I'm reading a book called 3 Times Lucky.
Oh, I haven't read that book. What's that one about?
It's about a girl who. Well, I'm not finished with it yet. It's
Uh-huh.
about a girl who her mom they got separated.
Uh-huh.
She lives in a town with a foster father and mother.
Mhm.
Well, I just started it, and it's like her best friend's brother got into a car accident,
Oh no.
and and that's where I am right now.
Well, I hope you end up liking it. It sounds like a good book. Does anyone have any questions about being a writer or anything to do with writing or just being cool in general or tell me something interesting about yourself? All right, come on up. I see you in the, let me see you, blue sweatshirt. Come up here with the pink pants.
Let's just start with me.
Yes. Hi.
I'm reading the book Monster Athena by Rick Riordan.
Oh, cool. Oh, Rick Riordan. Now that guy can write. And I think he writes really fast because he has a lot of books and they're really long. Do you like it so far?
Yeah, I kind of already read the series. I'm just rereading it because I love the books.
Oh, good. Good, good. Well, those are cool books. He's a great writer. Anyone else have any questions?
Any other questions for an author?
No.
Writing?
Anyone want to be an author when they grow up or a writer of any kind? Yeah? No questions? Well, I will tell you that you're all really smart and have asked really good questions so far. Come on. I see you. Come back. Come back. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hi.
I have one question.
Yes.
So what's your favorite song?
My favorite song. Oh, that's a really hard question because there's a lot of good songs out there. They're probably all by people you don't know. I'm a really big fan of a guy named Bruce Springsteen, who was really popular when I was really young. And my parents were big fans of him. And he writes a lot about what it was like to grow up when I was little, which is before the internet and before things got super awesome. And so I've always been a big fan of his music. But I will say a really good songwriter these days is a girl named Adele. Do you guys know Adele?
Yeah,
She writes all of her own music, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty remarkable. She's also pretty young, too, so it's cool that she can write things from such a deep place when she's so young. What's your favorite song?
Oh, Hello by Adele.
Yeah, right? It's a really good song. And every time you listen to it, it gets better and it gets stuck in your head. I feel like that's a sign of good writing is when it just is on repeat all the time.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you for asking that.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, too. Anybody else?
This kind of has to do with about like being a writer of any type.
Okay.
When you're writing, does it need to be like a diversity of many types of stories, like one fantasy story, one mystery story?
I don't know, because I feel like, so I write stories that I feel like have a very human quality to them. I like to write stories that there's a lot of emotional development in the characters, and I also like to write stories that are funny. And I think that a lot of the fantasy stuff doesn't have a lot of humor in it, so I never go down that path, and my imagination just isn't in that kind of space. But I will say that no matter what kind of writer you are or want to be, or even if you're just a fan of writers, I feel like you'll always really connect with people who have really good, strong characters. And so that's kind of what I try to work on. Does that answer your question?
I guess so.
Okay. You're welcome.
Do you have any siblings? Like when you were like little, did you like play with any siblings?
I did. I am the youngest of 3 girls. I have 2 older sisters. And my book, The Meaning of Maggie, is based on my life growing up. And my 2 older sisters are in the book as well. And they didn't have any interest in writing, really. they were really into dance. And so I spent a lot of my childhood sitting in the lobby of a dance studio reading books, waiting for them to get done with their dance classes. So I kind of thank them for that because I feel like a lot of my love of writing and reading came from waiting for them to get done with ballet.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Okay, I think we're gonna have to wrap up here, but we are
Okay,
so
great.
grateful for your time and for answering our questions. Can we say thank you, everyone?
Thank you. You guys were wonderful.
Thank you so much. Have a good afternoon.
All right, you two. I'll talk to you later. Bye.